Hi, Laura here, and today I'm going to do some foam rolling with you and show you how to use a foam roller. Before you get started, do make sure you are warm. I've just done a bit of a yoga workout, so I'm nice and warm. So try and do a little bit of yoga, or do how you'd normally warm up for any kind of workout, or at a push go and have a really hot bath and then do foam rolling. I do know some people that use foam rolling cold and then they go and work out. I personally don't do that, and for what we're about to do I'd recommend 5-10 minutes of a little bit of a warm-up. So yeah, foam rolling, it is really good for you. Can be very painful, which is why a lot of people shy away from it, myself included. I am now sort of a big advocate, I guess, of it. I do like it, but it's taken me a while. But I have noticed the difference. So for example, I struggle with my knees when I do a lot of foam rolling, and especially really where the IT band, I can walk up and down stairs without sort of the knee pain that I get. Whereas if I've done lots of training, lots of working out, and I've not been looking after my body, I can feel some tingles, whatever the word is. Okay, so we are going to start. So make sure you warm before we get started. We're going to start on the glutes first. Really important to try and work these ones first, get them loosened up, switched off a little bit before we go into the other stuff. So foam roller, I'm going to do it from the side. Start with it under your butt, hands out, and you're literally just going to kind of roll over your glutes. The one challenge with foam rolling and the exercises we're going to do is you definitely don't want to have done a heavy arm day, because you do end up having to use your arms. I'm being a bit lazy and I keep putting my feet on the floor, so really I should be rolling over. So just to under your glute, under your sort of butt cheek, and then a little bit above it. If you want some more, you can put one foot over and then really kind of work that glute. So I've put, in my case, my right leg over, and then I'm turning slightly to my right, and that is now really going to work that glute. Keep breathing. It might be good to play some music and just try and relax and switch off. This is also a really good thing that you can be doing whilst you're watching TV. So I'm going to change legs. So option to stay with just two legs. If you want a little bit more, you can cross the leg over. Otherwise I'm crossing it over a little bit more, and then I'm turning right into it. And when you feel that sort of uncomfortableness, try and just hold it if you can and breathe. But if you're new to this and it's feeling a little bit painful, then it's okay to just kind of roll over. So I definitely feel a lot more in my left glute, but I've got some tears on the sort of back of my hamstrings and some knots in my left glute, so it's not particularly surprising. Okay, so for me that's enough. You can stay on that if you want. So we're now going to work down the body. So we're moving into hamstrings, and we're just going to rock back and forwards. And again, when you feel a little, when you feel a little bit more pain, that's when you've got a bit of a knot. And the idea is to kind of, really what you should try and do is just sort of hold it a little bit, breathe and hold it, and you'll feel those knots sort of work their way out. Again, if you kind of want a bit more, you can put a bit of pressure on. And then we're going to work down to our calves. Now this one can be a surprising one. For some people this can be really painful. So do what you can manage. So again, use your arms, lift your butt up, and we're rolling over. What you can do is also, I'm going to rotate at my hips, so the arches of my feet are now facing the ceiling. It's going to get a little bit of a different area on my calf. Now I'm back to the centre, and I can also turn them in a fraction. So you're just trying to stay on that calf muscle. When you're foam rolling, make sure you are just sort of sticking to the muscles and not really kind of going over some of the joints. So what I can do to make it a little bit more challenging, and then I can really feel it on this side, is put one leg on top. I can feel some knots. calves do often get quite neglected, so I'm going to cross over again. Okay, so that's our calves. So we've done glutes, hamstrings, calves. Whilst we're here, we're going to move the foam roller to your back. This is actually one of my favourite ones. I can always get some real good cracks out of my back. Girls, or even guys, if you've got long hair, make sure these ponytails are out the way. So I tend to move mine and grab it with my hands. For me, because I've got neck and shoulder issues, I like making sure that my neck is always supported. So personally kind of grab it, and then whether you've got long hair or not, support your neck here, and then you're just going to gently roll over back and forwards. Don't go any lower than you like, so don't roll over your kidneys, don't go too low. I'm sometimes a little bit naughty and I probably do go a bit low. So you've got two options here that you can foam roll and just roll back and forwards. See how my butt is off the floor, using my legs just to kind of move back and forwards, supporting my neck and keeping my ponytail. If you've got a hoodie or anything like that as well, just be careful, because otherwise it gets stuck under the foam roll and that can be just a tiny bit painful. So an option is you can roll back and forwards. The other option is to literally just place it under your back and let your body drape over it, and then you adjust that, so I'm moving it further up. So for me, the higher up it goes, it's better. The lower down I go, the more it's really making me arch. Just be careful, this might not be appropriate for everybody. And then coming up. So that last little bit, that's optional, maybe a little bit too much for some. Next thing, we're now going to work the front of the legs. So we're going to go for the quads to start with. So this time, foam roll is here. And then what I'm going to do is put my arms out and sort of roll out over it. And then from here, rolling back and forwards again, not over any joints, so I'm keeping it off my kneecaps. So back and forwards. And you may or may not feel some knots, and that's, you know, that's when you then have got to kind of hold, breathe through it if you can. If not, then just keep rolling. Can be painful, and I guess when you're first starting out, you know, maybe do a couple of rolls, and then as you get a bit more used to it, you'll be able to do a bit more. So now I'm going to turn my legs, so I'm going to get more the inside of my legs. I'm going to show you how to work the adductors in a minute. So that's the inside. I'm also then just going to change, well, we're going to do the IT band in a bit, so I don't really need to rotate too much. Okay, so that's quads. Hands on the floor, coming up. Okay, so now you're going to do the adductors. So that's the inside. This one looks a little bit strange. So foam roll is forwards. You're going to kind of come onto it, and you're going to get it onto the leg here. So you're kind of leaning over it, and you're going to roll it this time back and forwards on the inside of the thigh. I'm going to show you more on the left. See if that one works. So here you're working more the inside of this thigh. So foam rolls forwards this time, and I'm rolling over. And again, it depends what kind of workouts you do, where you hold the tightness, as to which one of these movements are going to be the most painful. And normally that means that that's where you need the most work, I'm afraid. But honestly, persevere with it. It does get easier, it gets less painful, and you will see the difference. So this time, this is, for most people, and definitely for me, this is going to be the painful one. We'll roll in the outside. And the reason why it's so painful is it will catch the IT band. And if you have any sort of knee pain. That's quite often, especially if you're doing running or anything similar. It's this band up here that gets tight and then pulls on the kneecap basically. So this time we're gonna come forward, so one foot is in front of the other. It's this bottom leg that we're gonna foam roll. Hand is supporting. You might want to come down onto your forearm, find that more comfortable. And then I've also got the second arm, partly because I do find this quite painful, so it means I can take a little bit of my body weight off. So if you are finding this painful, don't forget to kind of use your hands, use your core, so you're not putting all of your body weight right onto it. You can make it a little bit easier. And I guess it's not easier, it's taking it to the level that's appropriate for you. And there's no point in kind of really going too deep and overdoing this, because you could, you know, you don't want to put yourself completely off from doing this and never doing it again, and you want to build up. Keep smiling, keep breathing, and when you feel that sticking point, if you can, you know, hold it, even if it's for a split second, and feel free to kind of move that leg a little bit onto the other side. Sorry, the video just cut out, so we're going to finish. This is the last one, so big smile on your face. We're nearly done. So onto the other